Hello everyone, welcome to Boundless Vegan, your broadcast for vegan and vegetarian travel news and tips. I'm your host, Donna Ledbetter. Hello everyone, this is Boundless Vegan. On today's video, we are going to expand on the discussion that we began on planning your vegan honeymoon. So on our last show, which was titled Plan Your Vegan Honeymoon, we spoke with Maria Gherkin of Vegan Honeymoons about her services that she offers to newlyweds or to anyone really. Perhaps you've been married for 10, 20 years and you want to have a second honeymoon. She can help you with that. So anyone who's in the market for a honeymoon, who is vegan, and is just looking for some assistance with putting their trip together. So in that show, Maria mentioned her website and how you can log on to that site and fill out a form to give her more information about what you're looking for, how she can help you get that honeymoon that you're looking for. In this video, we're going to discuss a couple of key tips, key points that you want to make sure to include in your initial message to Maria or to any other travel agent that you plan to work with to help you develop your vegan honeymoon. So the Vegan Honeymoons website is www.veganhoneymoons.com. Let's take a look at that website. Here's the site. Very simple and straightforward. You come to the Vegan Honeymoon site, you know it's all about honeymoons and all about trips for vegans. If you go to the About Us page, you'll find a picture of Maria. Hi Maria, thanks for doing the show with Boundless Vegan. Now, if you click on the tab that says Contact Us, you'll see the form that Maria referred to in the broadcast. On this form, you're going to be asked to give your name, and here I've put in a sample name, Janice Doe. You're going to be asked to give your email address, and I put here janice.doe@emailaccount.com, and then you're going to add a generic subject. It should be something that refers to the type of request that you're making. So here, for the purposes of this video, I've just put in Vegan Honeymoon Inquiry. Begin your message. Dear Vegan Honeymoons, I would like to request your assistance in planning a honeymoon. Very simple. Just to make sure that you are you're here on this site and you know exactly what it is that you're trying to do. So if you're on the site and you're asking for maybe a spring break trip or a trip that's just a general family vacation, as Maria noted in her broadcast with Boundless Vegan, she doesn't do those types of trips. She is a honeymoon specialist. So just make sure that you're on the right page, that you're here. Say explicitly that you're looking for assistance in planning a vegan honeymoon. Now, when you get to the page and you're ready, and you know that you're doing a vegan honeymoon, some of the things that you want to make sure that you include in your request are the dates. You need to be certain about whether the dates for your honeymoon will be fixed or variable. That means if you're thinking of doing a honeymoon, let's say in May, May is a fabulous time to have a honeymoon, but if you can also maybe have a honeymoon in June or even September, and it doesn't cause any scheduling or financial conflict with some of the other things going on in your life, you should be open about that. So be sure to say whether your dates are fixed or variable. You need to also be clear about the location. And the location can be something as simple as, I would like to have a honeymoon in Europe, or I would like to have a honeymoon in Australia or the United States. It could also be something as simple as saying, I want a honeymoon in a big city, or I want a honeymoon in an area that has a beach, or some place that's in a rainforest. So be clear about the location. Also, if there are particular activities that you and your new spouse will be interested in, like for example rock climbing, sailing, or simply dining out a lot, you need to be clear about this as well. Is not only just vegan food, but a broad selection of vegan food, being able to access the finest cuisine as well as maybe some good pub grub along the way. If those types of things are important to you, you should outline them in your initial message. If you are planning to have a honeymoon party, and some people do have this, so some people will invite some of their closest friends and family out for a couple of days at the start of their honeymoon if they're having an extended honeymoon, and they'll just have a party. If your honeymoon is going to include more than just the two people who were part of your wedding, that is you and your spouse, if you are planning to have a honeymoon party, you should be explicit about that so that your travel agent, or in this case Maria or any other person that you work with, will know exactly how to put things together for you. And that leads us to what could be, for many people, the most important item, and that is your budget. If you are working with a limited dollar amount, you need to be clear and open about that. Don't say you want the moon and the stars, but maybe all you can afford is a quiet weekend at a bed and breakfast in Pennsylvania. And that's a perfectly wonderful, very enticing, romantic honeymoon for any couple. Or you could maybe have something that's overseas and that costs tens of thousands of dollars. If that's what you're looking for, that's great. But make sure that the person you're working with is aware of what your limitations are. Or if you have no limitations, make sure that the person you're working with also knows that as well. Next, you need to be clear about your medical restrictions. Now, some people, regardless of the types of activities they want to have, the types of experiences they want to have, do need to be in an area that has easy access to medical care. So some people may need to ensure that there's a hospital within 20 miles, so that in the event of a seizure or any sort of heart difficulty, that your loved one can very easily find medical attention. If that is something that is necessary, you need to make sure that you outline that in your request. And then finally, for some people, this is the most important, you need to think about vegan food. And as varied as general eaters are, vegans also come in a wide variety. There are some vegans who will eat only raw vegan food. There are some vegans who will eat cooked vegan food. There are some people who consider themselves to be plant-based, which means that they don't like the label of vegan or vegetarian. They'll simply eat whatever they feel like eating, but they will have a preference for eating foods that are comprised of fruits and vegetables. So, if you are flexible, if you are a strict vegan, if you're raw vegan, if you're vegetarian, make sure that you outline that in your contact form so that Maria or any other person who's working on your vegan honeymoon will know exactly what you're looking for and what your needs are. Then when you're done with your message. You click the send button, and most likely you'll have another follow-up interview. But at least in your follow-up interview, you will have given your travel agents or whoever it is that you're going to work with some really good information to start with, to start the conversation about how to effectively plan your vegan honeymoon. And again, if you would like to listen to the broadcast from Boundless Vegan that features Maria Gherkin from Vegan Honeymoons, just go to www.boundlessvegan.com. Again, that's www.boundlessvegan.com. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or comments, please be sure to include them below. And as always, rate and subscribe. If you like it, share it, and I hope that you will subscribe and support the Boundless Vegan broadcast and website. See you next time.